We're all familiar with the yuletide remonstrations of Lennon and McCartney, the former getting all "hope you're having fun while there's still war in the world," and the latter ripping into some kids who needed a year's practice just to go. But did you know the other two, the economy class Beatles, did Christmas singles too? And more importantly, do we know whose is best? As time grinds through the most wonderful time of the year, as tinsel wraps itself inexorably around all we hold dear. Join me as I ask, which Beatle wins Christmas?
So this is Christmas.
Happy Christmas, War is Over dates from Lennon's political hectoring phase alongside Imagine, Power to the People and a song with this name I won't be saying out loud. His more raw efforts were far outsold by the syrupy Imagine, so Lennon went back to the tin for another spoonful, packaging his objections to the Vietnam War in a Trojan horse of seasonal cheer. Ooh, what's that? Looks Christmassy. What? Stodgy political messaging? Sorry, too late pal, no refunds. Now, just to be clear, I agree that treating a nation of human beings as a glorified boxing ring for the ultimate showdown between two highly destructive political ideologies was problematic at best, but come on John, it's Christmas! Even in Vietnam, thanks to colonialism. For the tune, there's the Harlem Community Choir, good, and Yoko Ono's lead vocals. Finally, a couple of Easter eggs. I mean, it's meant to be a Christmas song, John, but whatever. Whispered greetings to their kids at the beginning.
Happy Christmas, Coco. Happy Christmas, Julian.
And backing vocals from Lennon's later side girlfriend, May Pang. But is it good? Is it Christmas? So we'll grade each song on a few categories, then add them up for total marks out of Christmas. So, jauntiness. A jaunty gallop being one of the two pillars of the Christmas songbook, how does this score? This could technically have been stodgier, but not by much. 2 out of 10. Sentimentality. And this is the second pillar. It's an almost touching lyric, but a few hectoring slips of the mask poison the well. 4 out of 10. Sincerity. John's sincerity over Vietnam can't be questioned, but the sincerity of his Christmas wishes, I'm not having at all. 1 out of 10. Popularity. While I'm tempted to be all
people like Coldplay and voted for the Nazis. You can't trust people, Jeremy.
Christmas is about nothing if it's not about populism, and this is everywhere and will be forever. 9.5 out of 10. Jesus. Alright, I suppose Christmas is about something besides populism. Christmas's namesake makes no direct appearance, but is fully present in Turn the Other Cheek spirit. 8 out of 10. So that's a final score of 24.5 out of Christmas. Well done, John. Fast forward to 1974 for George Harrison's Ding Dong Ding Dong. It wasn't a happy year for the lad. He'd split up with his wife and threw himself into a heavy workload of touring, producing and Courvoisier. Harrison was fascinated by the various sayings left engraved around his mansion by its first owner. The fireplace had some old Tennyson lines. Ring out the old, ring in the new, ring out the false, ring in the true. And one evening, Harrison suddenly turned them into a song, saying, "It took me 4 years of looking at the thing before I realised it was a hit." His hopes in that direction were quite transparent, Christmas 73 having seen the release of 2 massive rockin' Christmas hits.
So here it is, Merry Christmas. Wishing you be Christmas.
So he seems to have thought glam rock plus horns plus ex-Beatle times by Christmas would equal a not unfounded theorem. His voice was shot from stress and large quantities of the snow that never goes out of season, but was it Christmas? Jauntiness. The tempo is better than Lennon's effort and the horns are a help, but a lack of swing deals a fatal blow to this jaunt. Should have studied Slizzard a bit more closely, George. 5 out of 10. Sentimentality. Even trying to be festive and singing someone else's words, Harrison can't quite escape his usual tut-tutting tone. He just can't help himself. 3 out of 10. Sincerity. There was a sincere lust for a hit, but otherwise, old preachy grumble guts wishing us a merry one. Are we having that? At the end, he appears to be singing ding dong, rocking horse dung. Get the feeling your heart's not in this, George. 1 out of 10. Popularity. The song scraped to number 38, then disappeared. Type Harrison's name in December and the song isn't even suggested in a list that includes live, interview and death. 2 out of 10. Jesus, nowhere to be found. A meagre total of 11 out of Christmas for George Harrison. Now we arrive in 1979 when McCartney comes up with this ditty. It's worth remembering that by now he'd already scored a Christmas #1 with 1977's Mull of Kintyre. But Mull of Kintyre was rarely heard afterwards, swept aside like some best forgotten moment of collective insanity, leaving him yearning to write a proper seasonal hit, one that would keep coming back. The song is deceptively complex, as anyone who's tried to play it can attest. McCartney was later required to address a theory that this song is actually about witchcraft. You know, the moon is right, the spirit's up, and he insisted, "I just like the idea of Christmas songs." Sure, Paul, next you'll be telling us the frog chorus wasn't a coded admission that you're just several frogs in a trench coat. I mean, we all stand together. It's like you wanted to get caught. Jauntiness. Like Harrison's effort, the song has no swing, but the double time feel makes up for it. 8 out of 10. Sentimentality. It turns out the real lyric is "the mood is right," not moon. Fatal to the witchcraft theory, but a real boon as far as seasonal feelies go. 7 out of 10. Sincerity. Less wounded and distrustful than Lennon, McCartney once made a private Christmas album, just for his family. He did want a hit, but this man truly has the spirit of Christmas in his heart. 9 out of 10. Popularity. More or less equal with Lennon, did nothing in America, got to number 6 here, never gone away since. 9.5 out of 10. Jesus, unsung. 33.5 out of a possible Christmas. And now we spool forwards through the decades to 1999 and Ringo's Come On Christmas, Christmas Come On. In the 60s, he'd been Star of Wonder, Star of Light. Now, he just found it startlingly difficult to sell any records. There's little information preserved about the Christmas album he made to close the millennium. It was recorded in Britain and America. Joe Perry put down some licks. Various guests were on backing vocals. In summary, Ringo Starr's I Wanna Be Santa Claus is a record of many facets. The first track was the single, and, amazingly, it's far better than it has any right to be.
If I get nothing, it will be okay. The Santa promise you won't go away.
A convincing take on the 70s Christmas glam sound Harrison failed to ape all those years ago, Ringo being easily the funnest boy of the two. But how does it measure up? Jauntiness. This thing has the classic glam swing and is only slightly too slow and heavy to be called truly jaunty. 7 out of 10. Sentimentality. Starr was king of sentiment, but lets us down here, serving up crumbs while focusing more on the party vibes. 5 out of 10. Sincerity. If he outshines the others anywhere, it's here. Ringo's the only Beatle who'd play a convincing Santa. 10 out of 10. Popularity. If it came out in 1973 when it mattered, this would have been big. Instead, Starr is the babushka of Christmas glam, arriving too late and leaving empty-handed. 1 out of 10. Jesus. Not this time. 0 out of 10. Final score, 23 out of Christmas. Well, there you have it. McCartney wins Christmas with a score of 33.5. Doesn't seem right though, does it? I think Ringo should have won it. I mean, Christmas shouldn't be about the biggest, the most powerful. It should be about the humble, about the... By decree of Santa Claus himself, add 0.7 points for every mention of Christmas in each lyric. Sincerely, the North Pole? I mean, OK, but how will I ever complete such a task at this late hour? You guys, Ringo wins by 0.7 points. It's a Christmas miracle. I mean, it's a little iffy, but I mean, it was Santa's orders. Wait a second. Los Angeles postmark? Ringo's the only Beatle who'd play a convincing Santa. That meddling little